Good evening. My name is Yolanda Jones, and I am the Director of Advanced Dental Education Application Service at the American Dental Education Association. Thank you for joining us this evening. This session is being recorded, so I ask that everyone remain on mute and feel free to enter questions into the chat. My colleague, Joseph Clark, our Client Success Manager, we'll be monitoring the chat box and we will address as many questions as we can at the end of the presentation. The presentation this evening will provide you with information about the 2023-2024 ADEA PASS application process for individuals interested in pursuing residency after dental school. We have simplified the process for you for applying. You can complete one core set of information that can be used to apply to one or to multiple programs. So let's get started with a video of program directors and admissions staff providing you with advice on how to craft a winning application.
Program directors get calls all the time. What could I do to make my application better? Be yourself, because if I told them one thing, I have to tell everybody else that same thing, and everybody's going to be doing that same thing, and it's not going to make any difference. So they have to decide that for themselves.
Start early as possible. You don't want to wait to the last minute to start on the application process. If you know this is something that you're interested in, you know that you're going to do, I would recommend that they start as early as possible.
I think you have to get started very early on your residency recommendation letters. It takes faculty quite a bit of time to be able to compile those.
Get as many letter recommendations as possible. The more the better, I say. I know they only require 2 or 3. The more, the merrier. And you want a letter of recommendation from a professor or a dean who actually knows you personally, that you interact with on a regular basis. I think that will work much better than just a general letter of recommendation.
Write an essay that really comes from the heart and not what you think the program director or the committee really wants to hear.
Have others maybe look at your essay and make sure that it's as comprehensive as it can be, rather than just simply writing it and saying, well, that's probably good enough.
We want to meet a person based on their application. Once we know their story, they should make sure that their application shows the diverse range of experiences that might have changed their path and increased their interest in the specialty that they're going to pursue.
Investigate what the program directors are interested in. Some programs may want the candidate to have a year or 2 of experience before they go back to school. Others want to take them right out of dental school. People should know this beforehand.
So that was some great information. The common theme there was start early. And I think that everyone joining us tonight is off to a great start with gathering information in preparation for the cycle that will be opening on May 10th. So let's start with talking about who participates. There are over 700 U.S. dental residencies, and most of them participate in ADEA PASS. If you're applying to programs that do not participate in PASS, you will have to apply to those programs directly. A full list of accredited programs can be found on the American Dental Association website. On the ADEA website, you can also find the ADEA PASS Program Finder, and that's a great place to start researching participating programs. You will find a profile of each program with details about their requirements and a link to their website. If you have any questions regarding the information that you find here, you want to contact the programs directly because they're responsible for keeping their information up to date. On the ADEA PASS homepage, you will also find other resources, including a video tutorial of the application process, as well as the resident library. And the resident library is videos from residents that have previously gone through this application process and provide you some helpful tips. So the application cycle will open on May 10th and will close February 9th, 2024. The application fees are $199 for the first program and $92 for each additional program. If you applied during the last application cycle, you're considered a reapplicant. You can use your existing account from the previous application cycle to reapply in the current cycle. You also keep the same CAS ID number from the previous application cycle, and you will log in with your existing username and password. A welcome screen appears. You'll confirm that you want to begin the reapplication process by clicking Start Reapplication. Ensure your profile information, including your contact information, is correct, and decide if you want to copy the application data. Your selection cannot be changed. So once you've created your account or you've logged back into your application from last year, you want to get started and get logged in, and the application dashboard will show you the 4 sections of the application that you will have to complete in order to submit your application. So the first 3 sections of the application are the core application, and the information in these sections will be sent to every program you apply to. On the Add Program tab, you'll be able to type in and search for programs here as well. And this is how you will add programs to your application. On average, applicants apply to 11 to 12 programs. You can easily track your progress on your application dashboard. Each screen will give you a link to the Help Center. And you can also get to the Help Center from the ADEA PASS website. I want you to be sure to read the instructions and proofread before submitting your application, because you are only able to edit very minimal information once you've actually submitted your application. To navigate back to the dashboard, you can click on My Application. So let's review these 4 required sections together, starting with personal information. In this section, you will provide basic background information about yourself. You will also be asked to acknowledge a statement about the match process. While the match is a separate entity and registration takes place on their website, applicants who plan to participate must register on the National Matching Service website and enter their 5-digit match code number into your ADEA PASS application. The dental match is a separate and distinct service from ADEA PASS, and it is administered by a different organization called the National Matching Service. Not all ADEA PASS programs participate in match, and not all match programs participate in ADEA PASS. You can find out which programs participate in match by checking the ADEA PASS Program Finder, or you can also check the National Matching website. And so on the Program Finder, when you look at all the details of the programs, you will see if the program participates in match or not. I definitely encourage you to visit the website for the National Matching Service, as they have a lot of very useful information there. The next section is academic history. I'm going to be sure to report all institutions attended in this section, including undergraduate, graduate, dental, and advanced dental education institutions. Official transcripts are required for your dental school attended. No other official transcripts will be accepted. If you attended a foreign dental school, a course-by-course evaluation completed by WES or ECE Credential Services is required. ADEA PASS will generate a transcript request form for the institution where you obtained your dental degree. You will need to print this form, you will need to print this form and provide it to the registered office to have your official dental school transcript sent to the ADEA PASS office. And so just a pro tip here, once you've created your application, I strongly encourage you to make this one of the first things you do. You want to make sure you enter your dental school transcript here, your dental school attended here, so that you have access to this form that you can print and provide to the registered office. And that way you can, start the process with getting your transcript sent to our office. The official dental school transcript is required to complete your application. You can also add test information in this section for the GRE, that's the graduate record examinations, the test of English as a foreign language, the TOEFL, the ADAT, the Advanced Dental Admissions Test, your national boards, the integrated national boards. ADEA will also post official results for the NBDE, INBDE, ADAT, and TOEFL if you request them. So keep in mind that entering it into the application here, this is considered self-reporting. And so it's not official scores. So you want to go to the ADA and ETS in order to have those official scores sent directly to ADEA PASS. The next section is supporting information. The supporting information section of the application allows you to enter information about your experiences, achievements, and licenses. Additionally, you will request your evaluations and upload a copy of your CV. You can also upload your unofficial undergraduate transcript here. So your evaluations done here, and documents, you upload your CV here. You see this very first one is required. These two sections here, this will allow you to update a revised version of your CV or resume at a later date. And the unofficial undergraduate transcripts, these are unofficial because they are uploaded by the applicant and they are not required. But you definitely want to refer to your program finder and look at the program profiles to see if programs are actually requiring this information. ADEA PASS has two types of evaluations. The professional evaluation and the institution evaluation. All evaluations must be submitted electronically, and all evaluations will go to every program designated in your application. The professional evaluation is your traditional letter of recommendation. A minimum of 3 professional evaluations is required, but up to 5 is accepted. For the professional evaluation, evaluators will comment on 10 attributes: integrity, professional demeanor, clinical skills, reaction to criticism, didactic knowledge, critical thinking, interpersonal skills, organizational skills, self-awareness, and maturity. And they also provide remarks for those attributes. And in addition to that, they have the ability to provide an overall recommendation on your behalf. And all of this information is electronic. And so when you go here, you're going to make sure you're going to enter this electronically. You want to speak with the evaluator to make sure that you receive the email address that they are going to be using to utilize the professional evaluations, because you don't want to send a request to an email address that they are not monitoring. The institution evaluation is also known as the Dean's Letter, or the IEF. This is completed by the Dean's Office and includes class ranking and GPA if applicable, and an evaluation of your ethical behavior, along with overall mandatory comments. The institution evaluation will be sent to every program that you apply to. So here it's a little different. With the professional evaluations, you have to obtain the evaluator's email address. For the institution evaluation, they are preset. And so you want to select your dental school from the list, and the information will automatically be populated here. And so it will go to the person that is designated to monitor these requests. So finally, you will find the programs you selected in the program materials section. So if you go back to when we first started, If you add programs here, and you can search for them, or you can scroll through the list and you'll select them. And so once you select those programs, you will find them in the program materials section. And so the first 3 sections of the application, that's your core ADEA PASS application. That is the same for every applicant. Program materials will be based upon the programs that you are applying to. So once you select a program and you go here, you're going to see more information about the program. In this section, each program selected will have program-specific information for you to upload. This is where you will upload your personal statement and possibly additional documents and questions to answer. When uploading your personal statement, be sure to review the screen instructions, as some programs may indicate a specific topic that they would like you to address in your personal statement. You have the ability to submit the same personal statement for each program, or you can customize the personal statement to specific programs that you are applying to. While all of the programs can see the information that is entered in the first 3 sections of the application, only the program that that in the program materials section, they're the only ones that can see this specific information. And see if I have an example of one with questions. So sometimes you'll see another tab here that will say questions, and they will have additional questions that you will have to answer. All of this information that will get submitted will only be for this particular program. It won't be for any other program. So if you have a very specific essay, personal statement for this particular program, you can do that, or you can upload the same personal statement for every program that you are applying to. So as you complete each section, let's go back here. As you complete each section of the application, you will see a green check mark indicating that all required sections have been fulfilled. You can submit your application once all 4 sections have been completed. Once you have submitted your application, you want to monitor your application status. To do this, you want to click on the Check Status tab at the top of the dashboard, top right of the dashboard. And here you can ensure that your transcripts, evaluations, official test scores, this is how you can see the things that have been received into the office. If you have questions as you move through the application process, you can click on the question mark here, and this will take you to the Help Center. And you can find a lot of useful information here. In addition to that, we also have a customer service department that's available Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And they also have an email address and the phone number. That information is here. So I can see that some questions are coming into the chat. This concludes this portion of the presentation. Everything that I covered today is available on the ADEA PASS website. There's also going to be a recording of this particular presentation that we will post as well. So the only difference is it will have the Q&A on this recording, but the one that's currently on our website goes over this same basic information. So feel free to refer back to it at any time. My colleague Joseph Clark has been monitoring the questions that are coming into the chat. And so, Joe, we can get started with the first question.
Thanks, Yolanda. We have some questions here about being a reapplicant. So if an applicant did apply last year for the cycle that closed in February of 23, and they're planning on applying to a different program next month when the new cycle opens, are they still considered a reapplicant?
So you can still, the reapplicant process will bring over some of your information. It will bring, so you will have your same CAS ID, but it won't have any of the programs in it that you apply to. So you would have to apply to the programs all over, but it's going to have some of the information so that you won't have to enter it again. And I'm going to pull that page up. And so in the Help Center, there's information for reapplicants, and it'll tell you, so this information here, this is what will copy forward, and this is the information that will not. So the information that you can copy over would be your biographic information, contact information, academic history. You can carry over transcripts, things like that. But as far as program materials section, all that will have to be done again. Payment, all of your evaluations would have to be done again. You would have to enter your match code number again. So yes, you could still be considered a reapplicant. You will have to enter all new programs.
Thanks for pointing that page out, Yolanda, because that was another question that we had, was what information actually carries over when you're a reapplicant. And I would recommend to each applicant that you do go to the Help Center and check that page out, because it will show specifically each section that does carry over and which ones do not carry over.
Thank you, Joe. And I'll drop that link in the chat. All right, next question.
This is kind of going back to the reapplicant process, but if you are a reapplicant, do you have to have your dental schools sent again, your dental school transcript sent again?
You do not, and Joe, correct me if I'm wrong. But on here, I do see it listed that official dental school transcript. So it says, note that these only carry forward a maximum of 3 application cycles. So yes, if you applied last cycle and you are applying as a reapplicant, your official dental school transcript will carry over.
Thanks, Yolanda. Let's see what else we have here for questions. Does ADEA PASS require the TOEFL score, or is that just program specific?
That is definitely just program specific. I would encourage you to review the program finder and check out the profiles to see if a program actually requires that information.
Thanks, Yolanda. So
No problem.
when the ADEA PASS cycle opens on May 10th, when is the actual first day that applicants can submit their application?
You could submit your application that day if you are that on top of things. Each program, so the application cycle is May 10th and it closes February 9th. However, in between there, starting July 1st, programs have individual deadlines. So a program, earliest deadline that a program can have is July 1st. Deadlines fall on the 1st and the 15th from July 1st to February 1st.
Thanks, Yolanda. We have another question here that I think I'll actually take because I actually answered this earlier today. Can you edit the information that is carried over for reapplicants? So when you are logging into the new application cycle, it's actually going to ask you what information you want to carry over and which information you do not want to carry over, but it's going to have you review the information to make sure that it is correct. And if there's anything in there that you need to edit or whatever, it will allow you to go in and edit it. So to answer that question, yes, you'll be able to edit the information that's being carried over.
Thank you, Joe.
Another question here. So if you are applying to a bunch of programs, do you need to send transcripts for each program, or do you just need to send one copy of each transcript?
So in the ADEA PASS application, you only need to have your official dental school transcript submitted. You do have the ability to upload the unofficial undergraduate transcript. So you don't want to have the undergraduate transcript sent into our office, only the official dental school transcripts. And we only need that once. However, sometimes programs will request that information be sent to them directly. So I would again just refer to their program pages, to their program finder profile in order to see what kind of requirements, and that might come later down the line once they reach out to you for more information. If that is something that they need at that time, they would let you know.
Thanks, Yolanda. Are you able to submit the application first without taking the INBDE test?
Yes, you can. You can submit your application without that information, and once you request the official scores, you will be able to have that sent to ADEA PASS so that it can be a part of your PASS application.
Thanks, Yolanda. We have another question here that says, how do you send your GRE scores to ADEA PASS? I can take this one. ADEA PASS doesn't actually accept the GRE scores. We do have a list of the official tests that we do accept in the PASS Help Center. They accept the official ADAT, the INBDE, NBDE, and the official TOEFL scores. Oh, here's a good one. When can I request the evaluations? It doesn't allow me to do that right now. Is it because the application cycle is not open yet?
That is correct. You will not be able to request evaluations until May 10th when the cycle opens.
Okay, another question here is, does every program have the same deadline, or do programs have different deadlines, and when is the absolute last day that you can submit the application?
So each program will have different deadlines, and let me just share my screen again. And so when you go to the program finder and review the profile, you will see that they will have their deadline indicated on the profile. And so each program will have different deadlines. And again, they start July 1st and they fall on the 15th of the month from July 1st to February 1st. And the end of the entire application cycle is February 9th.
Thanks, Yolanda. Do most programs require a CV/resume?
That is a requirement of the ADEA PASS application. So you will have to upload that once in your application. And there are sections, fields that you can upload a revised version of that at a later date if you need to.
For reapplicants, will they have to submit new letters of recommendation?
Yes, you will have to submit all new professional evaluation forms and your institution evaluation form.
Thanks, Yolanda. And what is the cost to submit the ADEA PASS application?
It is $192 for the first program, and I'm sorry, $199 for the first program and $92 for each additional program.
Do all programs participate in the match?
They do not. On the profile, you will see, it will indicate if they participate in match, it will say yes or no. And you could also visit the match website. They also have a list of the programs that participate.
And just to confirm, if they're applying to a program that does require them to register for the match, is there a section on the ADEA PASS application where they can enter their match ID?
Absolutely. I was pulling that information up. We're reading each other's mind. So in the application under personal information, there's a section that says match information. Just kind of gives you some overall information about match. And this is where you would enter your 5-digit code. And that's all you have to do for the PASS application. But it is important that you do that because that is the way that programs know that you have fulfilled that requirement.
Thanks, Yolanda. Would programs know what other programs you applied to in ADEA PASS?
That is a great question. They absolutely do not. Programs only see the information that you submit for their program. So they will not see that you have applied to any other programs or what those programs are. They cannot see that information.
We have another question that came in here. Does the personal statement have a character limit?
It does not. So the personal statement is uploaded under the program materials section, and it is an upload. So you will be uploading your document here. Now they do give you, doesn't give you a character limit, but it does give you like document size information here, but not a character limit. And that's for, I would say for most programs, there will be instructions here. So some programs may, very few I've seen, will have a character limit. And so I encourage you to pay attention to any instructions that are on the screen, because if a program does, they will indicate it here. For the most part, usually I don't see that there's a character limit though.
Thanks, Yolanda. And kind of getting back to the question that we had earlier about programs being able to see what other schools you may have applied to, does that also apply to their history? Like if they applied to previous programs, like within different cycles?
Yeah, no, they would not. I guess the only way they would know is if you are applying to their program again, they would have that information, but they wouldn't know that you have applied anywhere else.
As a new applicant, can I start importing information such as personal information and undergrad transcripts now, or do I have to wait until May 10th?
You have to wait until, so you have to wait until May 10th in order to enter it into your actual application. But you could theoretically start working on that just on like maybe a Word document, working on your personal statement. You could start working on things like that now just to prepare yourself, but you can't literally enter it into the application until May 10th.
Thanks, Yolanda. And do you know if applicants can apply to CAPIT and PASS at the same time?
I definitely have heard that has happened before. I guess it's up to the discretion of the applicant and the path that you're trying to take. If you're just going to a residency program that doesn't require licensure, but then you can definitely go the PASS route. And for CAPIT, that is when you're trying to seek licensure in the United States. So it is possible. I would definitely say to kind of lay out your plan to see what exactly you're trying to accomplish, to make sure that you are making the right choices and not wasting any of your time or money. I wouldn't want you to do that.
Someone able to apply to different specialty programs within the same cycle, for instance, first apply to a GPR program and then maybe apply to an ortho program?
Absolutely. You can do that. Keep in mind that all of your professional evaluations and your one institution evaluation, they will go to every program that you are applying to. So you shouldn't request that the evaluators specify. So if you're applying to orthodontics, I wouldn't really request the evaluator to give you a evaluation that's talking about orthodontics, because it's going to all of the programs that you're applying to. Now, where you can customize is within your personal statement. You do have the ability, because you can upload separate personal statements for every program that you are applying to.
Let's say they did apply to a GPR program and then they decided to apply to another program after that, but they've only used the 3 required references spots, but they still have the 2 additional ones. Can they send 2 additional requests since they haven't used those 2 last requests yet?
Absolutely. That's a great point, Joe. That is absolutely okay.
Thanks. And yeah, I think that would help if you did apply to one program at first and the letters happen to be a little specific to the GPR program, you can use those last 2 letter spots there to use it for the other program if you need to.
Yeah, a great point. Or if they were kind of generic at first, and then you only have 2 left to that same point, then you could request that one be more specific. But just be careful with that, because just remember that they go to all of the programs that you're applying to.
Do you know if programs have access to the match ranking list for the applicant?
So they do. once the ranking is open. Let's see if they have updates. So they have a full schedule here. And so like they recommend registering by October 1st. And then phase 1 rankings will open October 24th. And that's for ortho, perio, cross, anesthesiology, and Canadian GPR. And then let's see. And then the phase 1 match results are released November 21st. And then they have the same kind of schedule for phase 2. And so what happens is after the interview process, right? You've registered for match, you've entered your match code number into your PASS application. So programs are aware that you have your match code number that you've registered. And then applicants, you will go in and you will rank your programs, and then programs will do the same thing. I definitely encourage you. So all of this happens after the interview process. So I encourage you. So, if you have an interview and you visit a program and you thought that's somewhere where you wanted to be, and then you changed your mind, right? You get there and you just don't see that it's a great fit for you. This is where you're going to be for the next year or two, depending on what the program is. You definitely do not want to rank a program that you are no longer interested in. Don't rank it at all, because what happens is if you're matched with that program, it's a legally binding agreement. And so even if you ranked it low on your list, there's still a chance that you could get matched with that program. So you don't want to rank any program that you are not interested in, because there is potential for you to get matched with that program, and you would have to accept that position. And you don't want to put yourself in a predicament where it's a program that you're really not, that you kind of change your mind, you really don't want to go to anymore.
Applicant had questions on how they actually rank the programs. Would that be a question for the National Matching Service?
I would say yes. I would say contact them if you have questions regarding that. I would definitely say visit their website. They have a lot of very helpful information, a lot of FAQs, things like that. So I would definitely encourage you to go to the website and take a look. And then they do have a number that you could call if you do have questions.
Not seeing many more questions coming in yet.
A lot of duplicates. Okay. Well, I'm going to put up one more time. Let's see. So just want to put up a reminder that any questions that you have regarding the application process, if you have questions, you think of things later or as you're going through the process and things come up, feel free to reach out to our customer service department. They are there to help you, and they can be reached by email or phone. We would like to thank you for joining us this evening. We appreciate you spending time with us. We will get this recording posted to our website, and look forward to a great application season. Have a great evening.